Another day, another rebrand, or two. We have two new rebrands for two NBA teams that may or may not have needed them. to be honest, I mean, one of them probably definitely did. The other one, maybe, I don't know. But we got two here. We're deep in the offseason. Yeah, no, we got two new rebrands for the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Rockets. One of them was mainly just like a uniform color change, more than like a rebrand. But the other one's, I would say, is definitely a rebrand. So let's get into it. Enough yapping. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with, first of all, shout out to sportslogos.net. My absolute go when it comes to sports logos and uniform news. I that's my go-to. Anyways, we're going to start off with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, they have had an interesting uniform history. They have some very legend, wait for it, dairy uniforms, especially that black Timberwolves one from like when KG played. Oh my goodness. It's peak. In fact, as a matter of fact, they bring it back every now and then as a throwback. So we're getting some more black ones. So we're gonna get right into it. Just off a first glance, it seems to be a combination of old and new. You know, kind of mixing the old with the new, and you gotta appreciate that. It's a cool thing. You take what was really like legendary and well known and stuff, and you sort of modernize it, I guess. So rather than having like this outdated look, you get this newish look, but you're combining things. You're combining what made you great. You're combining great uniforms to make one. Now, some say too much of a good thing is a bad thing, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So let's get a closer look at it. Best look, but yeah, here's the white. I mean, you got that. This looks a lot like the ones they had like when they first became a team, which I think is kind of what they're going for. Just like go back to your roots. This is kind of when they first became a team. This is very, I would say, synonymous with like Kevin Garnett's like rookie season. When he first joined the league, it had like literally this design really. This was more of like a basic, like the words were more of like a basic font, but the rest of it looked like this. Colors were exactly the same, so oh yeah, it's better look at it. Yeah, the shorts, the jersey. We're gonna get into the shorts and logos and stuff in a bit, but we're just gonna look at the uniforms right now. Here's the blue. So here are the blue ones. I'm gonna get a picture of Nas Reed there. A lot like the white, pretty much. Yeah, because you got the. I mean, it says Wolves, got the number, but we're getting a better look at the jersey itself. So, like in the corner here, you get the five, like the trees there, which you don't really see that. You don't really see most of the trees. You see like right there. We're gonna try to stay away from the area. Yeah, you don't really get much of trees here, but on the jersey you get 5 trees. I don't know why it's 5. I don't know what that represents, but yeah, it's cool to incorporate the trees back into the uniform like they used to have. I think that's cool. But yeah, I mean, I think this is, for the most part, I think it does everything right. You're not like the colors aren't clashing. You're not like it's not like super light colors or anything. I think the colors blend well together. So, but I mean, like this is a lot like the white one. It's a lot like the white one. So we're really not looking at much of a difference here. This one has a little bit more detail, I guess. Yeah, because you get like that green and white outline, which I think looks a lot better than if you were really to just do green. This, truth be told, I don't know what you could add. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe like white, then blue, then green. I don't know. I think it's fine. Where it is, for what it is. I was closer to look at the jerseys. Again, you're not a lot going on here. Very, very simple, very, very basic. But sometimes less is more. Now we get into the black ones.
The black one.
This one, okay, I see. Yeah, this one actually incorporates the trees more, so you're getting more of that like that black jersey I was talking about. Their best jersey of all time, where you get the trees and stuff along here. Which I kind of wish they would have incorporated that more into the rest of these as well. But I see what they're going for. In this one, oh yeah, the words and stuff, and like the number, I think they kind of work. Like you're getting, it's kind of cool. On second thought, I don't know. Hold on. Let me actually get a good look at it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think if you, because I know I talked about the other ones, it's like, oh well, you got more of this. But I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like if I kind of want to take, like, if you take away the blue, how would that look? I think if you take away the blue here, I think the blue lines here, like, just a minimum amount of blue in the black jerseys. Because I think that's what the old ones were like, just not a lot of blue, or just not a lot of something. Anyways, I think if you take away the blue out of this, I think it would look much, much better. It's not like terrible, like, it's not like, oh, that's gross, get that out of here. It's definitely not like the Orlando Magic one, where it's like, why do you exist? But it's not bad. It's just I think if you get rid of the blue, it looks so much better. I think just that almost neon green with the white on the black would look incredible. Holy cow. Yeah, you get that M logo there. Again, I will get back into it. But it's good that it's good that they're incorporating the trees. I think that's something that a lot of people wanted, especially Minnesota fans. Big part of like their branding, at least like legacy wise, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You need a better look. Yeah, it goes all the way around the number, and not a lot to look at right now. And they got a new logo, kind of. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, they're going for kind of what they used to have, right? And it's a blend of things, which I think is actually really cool. And I think this is like a well done version of like remixing and mixing the past with the future, or past with the present, or whatever. So you get the old logo, or you get the old colors, right? The old color scheme with your like 2000s or like late 2000s to 2010s font of the Timberwolves. So sort of like kind of like what they had in the 90s to the 2000s with like how cool this looked, but it was much more toned down and more, I guess, professional looking. They brought back that font there and then mixed that with like the current logo. I kind of updated the logo a little bit, put a little more detail into it, which I think is cool. This logo that they've had for only 9 years, it wasn't really, people weren't too big on it. It was very corporate looking, very, I don't know, minimalist for the most part. It wasn't like the most, because uniforms really need to like, gotta look cool, gotta be somewhat intimidating looking, I guess, I think maybe. And theirs really didn't. It was basic, it was not like, except their green ones look phenomenal. I love their green, like that neon green. Thank you! But yeah, just a lot of that mixed, and I think they did a really good job with blending those together. I would prefer a darker blue. Like if they could have kept this darker blue and then just did everything else for that, because I'm more of a darker blue kind of guy when it comes to uniforms, instead of like this, like, because it looks like you stuck a dark blue in the sun and let it get sun bleached. But like a lot of things, like a lot of logos these days, it's still circle slop. So if they could have like gone back to maybe this logo, or even this one has a lot more oomph to it, a lot cooler. But I like for what they were going for, I think it really works. It looks solid. Oh, here's a better look at it. Yeah, so you get more of the details are incredible. I gotta say, like, they did a great job with the details. Like, you look at the old logo and it's pretty basic. The thing is, this poor guy just blends in with everything, and you don't get a whole lot of details in there. This one is you get that darker gray in there. The eye looks a lot. They paid close attention to like the eyes, because you look at the original logo, that eye specifically is what they used for this new one, which I think is a really cool touch. They did a pretty good job with it. You're the word mark logos. So you got this one. This one's like it's a little more stretched, so it looks a lot more like their older one. And this is sort of a lot like what they had before. Secondary logo. Let's talk about that. There's a lot of people talking about the fact that none of their stuff says Minnesota, and I can understand the complaint. I understand the concern of why people would feel that way, and I'm kind of with them on it. Like, granted, I'm a Spurs fan. It took forever to get us a jersey that said San Antonio on it, but I've always wanted it. That's always been a complaint of mine, is that I always wanted it, and we actually got it. But as far as this is concerned, I think, put Minnesota in your branding. That's where you're from. Be proud of it. Just put that in your branding. This, I feel, is not enough. I gotta be honest. It kind of sucks. Right? Of course, you still got the color scheme down. You got the trees and stuff in there. It's just a sucky logo, dude. I don't know where they would, like, maybe you wear that on a shirt or something. It's not a good logo. Not a good secondary logo. It's put Minnesota in your branding. Don't have Min. It's dumb. You gotta look at the court. It's a basic court. Nothing too crazy. It's their main court. It kind of exactly what you'd expect. Yeah, this court. I wish they would go back, because the black jerseys they have, right, big and famous and stuff, that was talked about. That era of the Timberwolves branding, they had, so sort of like how the Orlando Magic in the Celtics court is designed. They had that same like flooring, and I kind of wish they would do that again, because that looks so cool. But then it's a basic court. They got the Min logo on there that I hate. They got the trees on the baseline. That's pretty cool. This is cool. This is a cool core. I like that. Yeah, you're really leaning into the all black, which I think works really well. You got the trees lined. Oh my gosh, the trees all around there is really, really sick. Yeah, you got the the black paint. It looks really nice, and the Wolves word mark on the. I think I like that. I like how they put the word mark in the center. Even the Target Center logo was black, because on this one it was white. But yeah, this is really freaking good. Yeah, I like it. So I'm gonna talk about. Let's talk about this logo here, the M with the tree. It's not great. They could have done much better. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's not that good. It's very basic. There's not a lot going on with it. It's so, yeah, I don't know. It feels like they're just like, we want the tree, we want the M, make it happen. And they're just like, oh, what if we put it next to it? Yeah, okay, that's great. Great work, guys. As far as the rest of it is concerned, it's not bad. It's pretty good for what they're going for. Like, especially if you're going for that kind of blend of like that old throwback look with trying to like make it current and combine things. Because with the with the throwbacks they had for these a couple years back, right? It was very basic. People went crazy over it. It did well, but it was still basic. So to add sort of that old, maybe I guess now modernized look to it, I think works for what they're going for. Same with this one. Again, I'm more of a darker blue kind of guy. So if they would have had this like their old, now old like navy blue stuff, I think it'd look a lot better. What I would love though is I like the colors they had before, where it was like that navy blue, that neon looking green, something like that. This is it seems like a very toned down version of that. Sort of like how in, what was it, 2008, right? This was a toned down version of this. Like this went hard, and granted, this I'm just not realizing this logo has more detail, like on the wolf, but like the fonts and stuff of all this, it's toned down. This goes hard. This is like intimidating, and they're like, what we gotta make it more corporate like, and so that's kind of what they went for here. Like that's what they went for here, and I feel like that's kind of what they're doing here, like with the colors, I guess. But like if they could have just gone hard and just kept the same colors with this, I 10 out of 10 jersey. And I mean, I've talked about the black one. Get rid of the blue. I think you're good. I think I think this has gone all in on just doing the throwback of like I said before, the black ones I had, like the throwback one. Go back to that branding. Maybe switch up the colors. Maybe switch up the colors a bit. Add more green in there, here and there. But just go all in on just going hard and being intimidating looking. And I think you're good. But for what this is, take away the blue and you got a perfect jersey. Otherwise, it's not bad. Much needed rebrand. I think they did a pretty good job. Now, on to our next rebrand, the Houston Rockets. Well, so Houston, I'm a Spurs fan, and I'll let it be known I'm a Rocket hater, and this has nothing to do with it. I gotta put my biases aside like always and be very impartial. But yeah, I mean, Houston, like, I think they want to rebrand fully, but they really don't, if that makes sense, because they haven't had like a full-on like complete rebrand since like the early 2000s. Like they've done sort of soft rebrands where like, well, we're taking our logo and we're doing this with it, we're doing this with it. But they've never just outright changed from this R since it was first initially created in like the early 2000s. If you look at anything before that, from the 80s to the 90s and before, it's been different. But since they made this in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, they've stuck with it. And they've gone like just full, just the words Houston Rockets. They've done the basketball thing that they've tried to rebrand, which lasted maybe a few years up until this point, where they're going with another rebrand. The same logo, and they're just changing up the font a bit. So it's nothing really new from these people, but they're doing things a little differently. But yeah, no, I mean, just add another color to it, sort of like the 80s, which I get. You want to do more than just like red and white and the occasional black here or there. But enough Yabnel's gonna do it. So yeah, you got the new logo here. I kind of see what they're going for. I think. It's an odd choice for all logo, just like an upside down triangle. But I think they're going for like the like a space patch, like a patch you see on like a spacesuit. Which, granted, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool thing to do. But let's get into the rest of it. before we So first of all, of course, as I said before, they had a yellow to it, much like the 90s, and people are calling it like McDonald's uniforms or whatever, like mustard and ketchup, which even they called it mustard and ketchup.
Mustard or ketchup?
Are they laughing at us?
Let's get more in depth here. So here's the new logos, which is really just the same logo with yellow added to it. And then, as I mentioned before, like the spacesuit patch looking thing they have, which I guess is gonna be like their big primary one. And this one with the spaceman dunking, which I think is kind of cool. They had that a few years ago as their city edition when they added like the H-Town or whatever. I think it's a cool addition. I don't know what they're going to use it for, but I guess we'll find out. As far as the logo is concerned, it's not, you know, it's not bad. I think it's good they added something to it that isn't black or white or just, you know, the red on its own. It gives a little more personality. Red and yellow is an interesting thing because that's the thing about like marketing. McDonald's hit like the nail on the head because now you can't really see like red or yellow the same anymore. Anything red or yellow. I think it was like primarily red with some yellow. You're gonna think of like McDonald's or even the Chiefs. There's another thing to think about. The friggin' Kansas City Chiefs does red and yellow. So getting into it, yeah. So these are the white jerseys. They kind of are doing what they did with the 90s, like with they had like the navy blue and the giant logo on there. They had these not necessarily pinstripes, but some sort of stripes that of course they go up and down. They weren't like straight, they kind of like staggered. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But there was like an empty space in the middle, and that's where they put their logo. They have something similar to that now. They're doing, which is like, all right, that's cool, I guess. You get that new font, which it's all right. Again, same with the red. Yeah, so you can use some of that red, some of that yellow there. Not too shabby. It's not a whole lot going on actually. Wow. Not saying there was much going on anyways with what they had before, but I feel like there's even less now, especially like on the sides and on the right there on the sleeves. Moving on to the red one. This one kind of seems like to have a little more character than the others, or than the white one, where of course it's red, white on red. It's simple, but it works. Got some of the yellow here. It's not too bad. This does look like McDonald's. Not gonna lie, it does kind of look like McDonald's. I forgot to mention there's a little spaceman logo there. That's pretty cool. Anyways, I do like, so of course you have the straps on here too. It was like a darker red, but I do like the angled like rockets thing there. I think jerseys like that look cool where they have the word there. Although usually when they do that, they'll put like the number like on the side, like right here. Like I know the Warriors do that for sure whenever they do stuff like that. But I think the font isn't too bad. It definitely has like a space-ish futuristic look to it, and I kind of like how it looks like the E and the T and then like the T and the S almost connect. So I think that looks good there. The numbers I'm not like too crazy about. I low-key think they could have kept the same like number style, like the font or whatever of the number. I think they could have kept it the same and it would have looked just fine. Getting into the black uniforms. What is that? That's okay. That's goofy. I'm sorry. That looks bad. What is this, dude? Holy cow. They fumbled the black one. First of all, not a lot of yellow. If you're going to have yellow as like one of your main colors, it's one thing if you don't add it at all, but don't have it only be the Jordan logo. That looks stupid. That looks dumb. They have like a little bit of yellow in there, and it's just the Jordan logo. Like what the crap? And then that random stripe there looks ridiculous. Even then, like the sleeves there, the collar, what are they doing? Oh my god. If you can give me a closer look, by all means do that. Like everything else is the Houston part I'm not too crazy about because again it's dark on dark. If you had like yellow there, maybe we'd be talking. That's a bright color on a dark jersey. Even look, the name on the back, you can just barely see it. Low key, the back of it looks like a soccer jersey. That actually looks like a freaking soccer jersey. Yeah, so here you go. You got the main logo here. Like I said, triangular, which is it's a choice. It's a choice, all right. But I get what they're going for. Again, the font's fine. I think it's a decent looking font. I think it works for what you're going for. Primary one, same one they've had for so many years, as long as I've been alive at least. And they just add a little bit of yellow to it. Then the spaceman is secondary. Oh, I didn't notice that. That's an H. That's cool. Yeah, it's a fine jersey. Get the word marks. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, I think it works. Yeah, it doesn't go too in depth here on it. I'll see if I can find something that maybe go more in depth. All right, so I found this. Yeah, okay. It's not too clear, but you get a better look at it. Yeah, that angled rockets thing I think works. It kind of looks like Johnny Rockets, I'm not gonna lie. That's what it looks like. Low-key, I think the number and the word are a little close, because you have like all this empty space here. Yeah, when you really look at it, it doesn't look that great, because you get all that empty space there, and you could like move that down. Yeah, you need more space in between the word and the number. Not gonna lie, it's like that with the white. Same with the white. Either make the number bigger or fill out the space, man.
Say that again?
Again, the black jersey, not the best looking. Gosh. Yeah, the number is either too small or I think overall it's not. It's a little small. But still, fill out that space. You still. Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay, so you got like. So you don't have the stripes like you do on the others, but you got like little stars, little sparkly things. That looks alright. Again, the collar stuff, like the back of the collar at least. The back of it sucks. It's gonna look goofy on court, I think. And it's just a little bit of yellow being the Jordan logo is ridiculous. This looks like something U of H would wear, I think. I'm not gonna lie. Now see, when they show these, right, this isn't like as bad, I guess. Yeah, the spacing looks a lot better. This still looks sucky. The spacing looks a lot better. No, I don't even mean a lot. The numbers look a lot bigger. I say a lot, it's not a lot. I think it works better like this, you know? This doesn't look as professional, but it's also just like, oh, here we're showcasing new stuff. But yeah, just widen that space a bit, fill that out, and you're looking better. But it does. I see that it definitely does have more of that like 80s Rockets look to it. I think really low key they could have. I feel like I'm not saying they should have. I'm saying, but I feel like they could have gone just full reverse it, go back to the 80s look, and people would have been like, yeah, that works. Because they've done the 80s jersey has like a throwback a time or two. Yeah, so I was talking about the logo and how like the logo has remained the same for so long. And that's what I'm talking about, right? So you have this logo here for the San Diego Rockets. We're not worried about that. We're about the Houston Rockets. So this is the 70s logo. Nothing too crazy going on. This was their like 80s to early 90s, right? We'll just call it the or 70s to early 90s. We'll call it the 80s. It's mostly know what the 80s. And I don't know what the difference between these two are. Someone could tell me, you know, because these are like the same logo. What are they talking about? Anyways, you got the 90s logo. This is the 90s to early 2003. This is very synonymous with like Charles Barkley and mostly Yao Ming. Even Scottie Pippen wore this, but it's interesting. It's definitely this is like 90s to a T as far as how branding looks. Very 90s looking, but as I said, early 2000s they introduced this look, and it's not bad for what it is. And you have that R with the rocket going to the hoop. That's fine. Then in 2019 they were like, wait, we need more. So we need the basketball in there. So they went with that. Changed it. Went with the rebrand. That's when they got they changed up the font of the words and put that on their jerseys. Didn't change up their jerseys too much, but enough where it's like, oh wait, something's off. So they did that for about 7 years. They had that for 7 years. And the thing is, you never really saw that logo much. Like I went to Rockets games only when they played the Spurs, and I don't remember ever seeing that like on the court. Yeah, even they had just the R there, so like I don't see really why, like what the point of this even was. But anyways, then they're like, wait, let's rebrand again because why not? And so then they were like, wait, let's get rid of the circle swap. We're gonna keep the logo, change the font again, and that's really gonna be it. Add yellow in there. They did, and it's not like, I mean, it's not bad. It definitely, I would say it beats the circle slop. It beats the basketball in the middle with your logo, the words around it, because I feel like I've talked about that before. Every logo is that nowadays. So yeah, that is the new rebrands for the Timberwolves and the Rockets coming in the upcoming season. We're still in the off season, but in the coming season, they're gonna have that. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you like these? Do you not? Do you agree with me? Do you not? What team, in your opinion, needs a rebrand? Because I got plenty up in here that could use a rebrand. Let me know your thoughts below.